Hello and welcome to the Naked Audience. Today we are going to launch a new segment on the Naked Audience. We'll just call this How's My Collection? Yeah, that's the ticket. So today we're going to talk about an album I got about a year ago. It was released about a year ago. And so I'm a little bit late finally getting around to my review of this, but it's a really amazing release from Cuneiform. Here it is in all its glory. This is Soft Machine Facelift, France and Holland. Here in the nice thick fat digipack. It's that thick because it comes with 3 discs, 2 CDs, and a DVD. And disc 1 is a performance recorded at the Théâtre de la Musique in Paris on March 2nd, 1970. A lot of Soft Machine fans and completists probably recognize that performance. It was originally released on voice print as a DVD, and this amazingly filmed performance that was aired on French television way back in the day. CD1 is the full performance of that concert because, of course, that DVD on voice print, which is called Alive in Paris, that only featured what was on the telecast from that show, so it's just some of the songs, not all of them. But here you have basically all of them on the first CD. The second disc is a DVD, and it's exactly the same performance. It's more or less the same performance that was telecast on French television, and it's a little bit better quality. And then the third disc is, of course, the Holland portion of this release, and that was the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam on January 17th, 1970. It's not the full show, but it's a nice chunk of it, and it features this performance of Esther's Nose Job, kind of right after the Pigling Bland. So right after the Pigling Bland portion of the song that's not on the initial album that features Esther's Nose Job on Volume 2. A lot of Soft Machine fans would also know that a lot of those live performances featured Robert Wyatt doing a lot of vocal acrobatics. This performance in particular, Concertgebouw, is where he goes absolutely apeshit with his vocals. It's crazy, he screams. It's amazing. Up until this point, I hadn't had a really good recording of it. It had been on YouTube, not at very good quality, but here, remastered, as well as the first disc, remastered sound. The guys at Cuneiform Records and Wayside Music, Ian Biabout and Steve Feigenbaum, worked really hard. They went into the French archives for the Paris performance and dug up all the best parts that they could get. For the full performance, they had to fill in some of the audio drops with audience recording. So they did a pretty good patch job of putting it together. What I like about it is it has the nice full performance of Eamon Andrews from that concert, which I consider to be the definitive version, because it's nice and long, full band, and it has that crazy bass solo from Hugh Hopper where he's using his Shaftesbury duo fuzz pedal and he's just buzzing through everything, and it's just incredible. I mean, they had done other good performances of Eamon Andrews on other releases, concert releases and things like that. There's a BBC version of it, and they did one on a radio show. Kind of they experimented a little bit with it, but here the performance in Paris on this disc is just the cream of the crop. So, you know, I have these guys at Cuneiform to thank for finally getting around to getting this out, because that performance is so great, you know, featuring the quintet with, you know, Lynn Dobson, who is just an amazing musician. And of course, you know, the other guys, like I said, Hugh Hopper, and then Robert Wyatt, Mike Radledge, and of course Elton Dean. Just the greatest, or one of the greatest lineups of that band, for sure. What makes the audio portion of this, the DVD full, or the CD performance of the Paris show, is that they spare you all that canned applause that was in the original telecast, where they tried to fill in those audio dropouts with applause and stuff, and it's just corny and whatnot. So, this is well worth getting. It is available also on vinyl. I didn't get the vinyl. I just happened upon the CD and grabbed it because I had to have it. But I'm not some kind of CD geek, so, you know, I mean, vinyl nerds, I do have vinyl too. So, you know, see, looky here, I got a nice original release, a third. And
how neat is that?
Got the fourth album here as well. See, got the one with the raised 4 there. You can't really see it here, but I got the edition where the 4 is just kind of raised off the cover.
That's pretty neat.
Whatever. Anyway, what also makes this collection really nice is it has lots of great little photos in there. There's Hugh. There's Mike. There's a lot of the contact print images from Mark Elledge, and another great one of the band there. I have great photos behind the discs, of course. And it does come with a CD booklet that tells the story behind this production and the shows and everything involved. And again, with more photos, there's a nice photo of Lynn and Elton. There's a nice photo of Robert Wyatt getting ready to smack the hell out of his snare there. This is not the latest release from Cuneiform. Since this release, they have released another one called The Dutch Lesson, which is obviously based on other Soft Machine titles from Seven. The German Lesson, the French Lesson. That's also really good. I haven't heard the whole thing. I haven't gotten it yet, but I do plan on getting it because it is another great release. Of course, that features another era of the band with Sir Carl Jenkins, otherwise known as Meghan Markle in disguise, and John Marshall on drums, and the great Roy Babington on bass. That's just another one. That's the 11th release on Cuneiform for Soft Machine. This is the 10th release. This is what we're talking about today. Cuneiform, I just want to say a couple of words about Cuneiform. Ian and Steve, they do lots of great work there, and some other fellows, of course. They released, Spaced, that's psychedelic experimental stuff from the art show. Virtually a great show from Germany. Noisette, fans of that era of the band, the quintet, also really like Noisette, amazing. Backwards, another great release featuring some different recordings and live performances. Live in Paris, that's getting into the John Marshall era of the band, kind of, I think, one of the last performances with Elton Dean. Grides, which is also considered one of the best live releases of Soft Machine from the quartet era. And Middle Earth Masters, that goes a little bit further back into the Kevin era, right? NDR Jazz Workshop, which is also yet another amazing live document of the band. Also, I can't recommend that enough. I mean, that has Gary Boyle from Isotope playing some guitar. Of course, Isotope, Hugh Hopper joined them later. And then they also have Switzerland 1974, which gets into the Alan Holdsworth era of the band. Another great document of that era of the band. But at any rate, one thing I do want to mention, there was a release of the Paris show from the Théâtre de la Musique. It's about 2 years ago, and that was London Calling Records. They released an audience recording of what I presume is the actual full concert. This does have Moon and June on it, but it's a little bit shorter than the actual full performance, and also missing is the 12/8 theme. But that's just nitpicking. I mean, the 12/8 theme is great. You can get a really good version of that on the Noisette release. But this performance is also just excellent. And like I said, the Concertgebouw performance is wonderful. Yeah, that's a little bit shorter. Again, probably not the full show, but it has Facelift, Moon and June, the 12/8 theme. It's also on here. So again, so you're not missing out too much that it's not on the Paris show. A little bit of a drum solo, and then that crazy vocal performance from Robert Wyatt. But yeah, the Paris show, here we have, of course, Eamon Andrews, Mousetrap, Noisette, Backwards, and the Mousetrap reprise. Amazing performance of Out Bloody Rages, and of course a nice long performance of Facelift, which is the full performance of Facelift, which is not in the concert version of the DVD. And then a more accurate version of Slightly All the Time, which you don't hear very often in the live performances because they changed up Slightly All the Time slightly. And other performances changed it up a little bit. This tends to go back more into the album version. And then, of course, Esther's Nose Job with Pigling Bland blended in. So, yeah, checking my notes here. What else did I want to say? I guess that's about it, kids.
No.
But, yeah, Soft Machine fans, if you don't already have this, this is one of the greatest live performance discs you can get, because it's not just one, it's a couple. And the DVD, you can't beat that, because it also happens to be one of the best filmed Soft Machine concerts for sure of this era too, because those are very hard to come by. You might find some other really great bits and pieces on YouTube from the trio in '69 and even the septet in '69. That was also on French TV. That one I think you can only find on Facebook, but that one's really great. But yeah, Théâtre de la Musique, that concert, the way it's filmed, it's in color, and you get to see them in all their glory, and I can't recommend this enough. So there it is, Facelift, France and Holland, vinyl, CD, however you like to hear it, go out and get it. And that is how my collection is doing. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. We'll see what I look at next. I don't know what it'll be. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to us all. So, kids, get weird, and we'll see you next time.
Boom.